welcome to the channel. It's Funny Art Man doing the thing. What's the story today, you ask? The animal people are in my DMs again, demanding I draw their pictures, and I have no choice but to do it, because it's a free money glitch. The weirdness factor over 9,000. Thank you. Comedy gold. Let's take a look at the brief. I've been a long-time follower of your YouTube and would love to get a silver tier commission if possible. I'm looking to get a piece done of my weird-ass robot furry character with a more eerie vibe. Basically like a rundown arcade place with him creeping over to the camera ready to pounce. His screen can't display anything but keep the main color black with some sort of glowing eyes. Going for a bit of an analog horror aesthetic. What do I got to say to that? I was like very hesitant to accept it, because it's like, this is like some peak furry character design. Like, this calls for a change of attire, have the ears on. I asked them if they wanted to have me approach it in like this cute style, or like what are they looking for. I couldn't see like this character in a horror setting, but they said yeah, that's exactly what they're looking for me to turn it into a creepy style somehow, so that's the main challenge here. Alright, so let's just jump into it. Let's enough of Japanese. Alright, let's delete default cube. I'm starting this off in 3D because it needs like an arcade, and what better way to do that than to make it in 3D, because who has time to draw things like this in 2D? Like, I'm just putting my very basic modeling skills to use here to make like these weird ass arcade machines. I knew already what I was going for. I had made this thumbnail before to visualize like the sort of perspective I'd be going for, the character like being over the camera like in this weird way. So that's what's happening. I made two different kinds of arcade machines, one like basic one and the tall one, just to switch it up a little bit, because if it was just one type it would get real repetitive fast. Question to people that have gone to arcades in their lifetimes: is it obvious that I've never gone? Because I don't know the proportions of the machines, and like maybe it's obvious, I don't know, like that's something I had in mind. But yeah, we gotta model like a whole ass room. The camera goes on the floor as planned before, so I'm setting that camera angle up. And let's make a ceiling as well, create like that backrooms vibe with these ceiling tiles. Like, all we need now is like a fluorescent light up there somewhere. So let's throw that in there, and yeah, immediately it gives off backrooms energy. It's that simple. Just add ceiling tiles to any room and you're in the backrooms. Now, Blender users are probably cringing at how I handled the rotation of this pipe here. Like, it's very dirty job that I did there, but I don't really care. Like, it's probably gonna be behind the character anyway. Let's do more stuff in the background, like a column on the wall as well to give it more detail. I don't really need to model like a whole bunch of assets because it's just a small section of a room. So now that everything's set up, let's throw a light in there. I thought the single light source will do the trick to create like a creepy ambience, and like that would be the fluorescent light at the top, and maybe like one extra light behind the camera somewhere. Damaging the wall with this one-click damage plugin. It's a little laggy, I don't like using it, but it does the trick, giving the room more detail, making it look like an actual wall. Reduces the amount of time I need to spend painting over the thing. But yeah, I exported everything into like lighting passes and imported it into Clip Studio so that I could throw like flat colors over, or actually under everything. This is similar to how I work with painted lighting layers. Just Blender exports those out automatically for you, so I'm like a human lighting pass renderer. Time to do like something weird. I usually don't do this. Actually, I have done this sometimes. Anyway, I'm modeling like some very basic building blocks for the character to put him into like 3D space where he actually is, and it saves time, allowing me to spend more time rendering later, because I don't have to figure out where the limbs are in 3D space. Like, as you can see, it's very basic, like just primitive cylinders and shit like that, but I can just start sketching over that using my actual anatomy knowledge, which is very convenient to have as an artist. If you want to support the channel, check out the wide selection of reference packs by Graphit Studio, or join my Patreon. Anyway, just the basic proportions, and I think this actually does the trick pretty well. He covers up like a large portion of the whole scene. Like, there's an equal amount of character and background in the whole image. Yeah, let's define some muscles on his body. There's like some Five Nights at Freddy's fan art type shit. Like, I feel the movie is just coming out as well as I'm publishing this this video. Like, it's very thematic. This is like an OC from that universe, actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's throw some fills, and we're gonna do like flat colors real quick here. Just color picking from the reference, and throw in like lighting or like an ambience filter over everything so that it looks like he's actually in there and not copy pasted over everything. I switched up the background colors as well to like a pink tone, so it gives off more of that arcade vibe, and like use the blue tone to shade everything on the character. So it's like almost like a flashlight type deal. Let's throw in some distortion, some cracks and crevices into the background to make it look more rough, more lived in, less perfect than the perfect geometry that comes straight out of Blender. Like, that's not natural, especially if you want the thing to look creepy and all, and like lived in and like decaying. I'm throwing in like that TV filter to give it like a creepy feeling, just to visualize to the client what we'll be going for. Well, Vsauce action going on here for a moment. They said that they want anything on the screen, so I did that, but scrapped it. Like, let's calm down now for a bit. Anyways, I delivered this to the client. They say they enjoyed everything pretty much. They want a different type of eyes though, which they actually had sent me a reference for earlier, but I didn't use it for some reason. I have no idea why. I thought that, hey, I'm gonna be original. Anyway, I asked them what type of games they want in the back, and they gave me like a little list, so these types of games, which I would then go reference hunting for, looking at what the arcade machines for those games actually look like. Man, I kind of want to experience this in real life, like the arcade machines. Is it good? It's basically like just playing a console game that's like a big machine, and it seems kind of useless actually, very inconvenient, but I suppose if you're like an 80s kid, then it's a part of your childhood or whatever. 90s kid, I don't know how old this stuff is. I tried recreating the signs to the best of my ability, but like, I don't want to just copy paste the PNGs of the logos, because that just looks weird and artificial and removes like any character that the artist may put in. But yeah, let's continue refining the shading on the character for now. I noticed more elements on him that needed refinement. Like, for example, his TV head. I thought the reflection of lighting needs to like change position. It needs to move to the right more. So I'm redoing the lighting there. I don't know, like I felt like if the light is blasting straight from the camera, then the reflection should appear on that side instead of the opposite side. But yeah, this is just general rendering. We've got like 2 more hours to render. Oh yeah, and the client wanted like glowing stripes on the character as well, so I'm like, just try out what that would look like real quick. I thought it indeed did clash with the rest of the picture for a moment there, but we'll do the reveal later on. But yeah, I'm just doing more overall rendering. I looked up how other artists have approached the rendering, like werewolf type characters that have like a mixture of skin and fur on their bodies, like where the more dense fur areas are and where the skin is more like actual skin. After a little break, I decided that everything was too low contrast, so I threw in another lighting pass on top and used like the blend tool to make it look more natural. Just if we're going for like a camera light, it should be a little bit more high contrast, you know what I'm saying? And shifted the hue towards green as well, because the blue was not fully like a complementary color to the pink in the background. But yeah, this way we can achieve like a nice separation between the two. And yeah, we can really start throwing more fur over the whole thing, like making it really pop, making it really read as like a werewolf type deal. Defining the muscles and all on there, using like fur patterns between like the different muscles to make it look interesting and give it character. It's really starting to come together. Like, it's so weird. Like, I was working on this picture. Whenever I took a break and then came back, I was like, what the f is this, bro? Like, what am I working on right now? Like, it was so weird, but I mean, but I will say, however, that having this much time to render everything was kind of refreshing. Like, I don't have to rush myself that hard as I usually have to do. So I think it reflects in the final result as well. Like, the result just is more pleasing to the eye. Something I did in the background was throw in like a pink halo behind the character to bring his silhouette out more against everything in the back, because otherwise it would have been just black against black, like stacking the blacks, and there's no contrast, and it makes it look weird. Even though this is a horror commission and we want to leave something everything's up to the imagination, like, we still gotta follow, like, some art rules, you know? To, like, a tasteful extent. Like, that's how I'd put it. But yeah, time for more game labels, recreating more of those with 1 hour left on the clock. The Splatterhouse one, very nice. You can just do that with, like, a round brush. Just makes, like, some splatters. I don't know. Just recreating, like, throwing some red borders over everything. All these horror games, horror arcade games had, like, these red borders. Which is easy enough, like, it's an easy thing to add in. Which is good for me, because I don't have to put in effort. House of the Dead, similar type logo, goes to the bottom of the machine instead. The Alien Syndrome one was interesting, like, I found a photo that was kind of low res, so I AI upscaled it. Like, just pasted that in the back. Just because the timer was running low and I wanted to refine the character more. And like the background as well, like some contrast tweaks there. As I've grown accustomed to, I made like a list of things I need to accomplish within the last 30 minutes. So first of all, the controller buttons, what are these even called? Like joysticks? The machines need to have some sort of controls, like otherwise it's just empty and it shows that I've never been to an arcade in my life. More roughness to the background. Yeah, basically this area in the back was way too clean. Needs more cracks and more texture going on because it's well lit as opposed to the rest of the background. So that's the one area where I did more painting over everything for that reason. Now it's time to roughen up those machines as well, like at least a little bit, throw some dust and some spider webs or whatever in there, like to make it look aged and up. Like that's what's up. Yeah, I modeled the arcade machines screens completely flat in Blender, so I'm just adding like a little bit of lighting on top there to imply that it has some curvature going on. And yeah, finally, let's just do a little bit, like 10 minutes of more rendering. Really spicing everything up, like making the forms pop to the best of my ability, adding some sharpness to the TV, because it's not an organic form, it's mechanical. It needs to read as such. Finally, the stripes, a little bit of detailing there. And yeah, we're basically done. A little bit of color dodge as well, and yeah, we're done here. Before I delivered it, I did one last tiny session where I just added in like some extra highlights to some areas that I thought should be there while looking at the image. But yeah, that's really about it. Like horror furry, accomplished. Is this the weirdest shit I've ever drawn? It's up there. It surely is up there, like objectively. Like I'm not trying to roast the commissioner, but it's like even they can understand that it's like it's just odd, you know? But that's what makes this video interesting. Anyways, commissions are open. Get that shit. No more furries though. I added that to my ban list once more. I'm done with this shit. Like I can't. It's a love-hate relationship. But yeah, I'm out of here.
Buy my shirts right now or else.
Bruh, check out my SoundCloud.
Hey kid, wanna buy some reference packs? I got you covered, fam.
Long unedited time lapse of this drawing available on my second channel.